Hi and welcome to Xtronical. In this episode we're going to go through the release of version 3.1 of the DAC Audio library, and when I say release, it really is quite a beta version, if not even alpha. There was an omission in the release as regards the multiplayer class, which I've now actually renamed to the sequence class because it makes more sense. What the sequence class or the old multiplayer class used to do was allow you to play several WAVs or musical scores or instrument sounds in a row. You'd just say play this one and then that one and that one, and it would just take care of it for you and do that and order it, and you wouldn't have to think anything else about it. It would just handle all that for you, playing them in sequence, in the correct sequence. One glaring omission was, once you set up that sequence and it played fine, you couldn't then redo a sequence where it created a new sequence class. Those things you'd added were locked in forever. I'd forgotten to actually code in a way of sort of freeing those, so they were no longer, you could clear them out and add more different sequences if you wanted to. Not a big job. So I forgot to do that. That was brought to my attention with a subscriber, so I added that in. And in the course of creating a new demo, I realised as well, one of the bugs, it's going to be a bug, it certainly wasn't foreseen, that you couldn't have the same WAV or musical score or whatever it is, you couldn't have the same play item. Play items can be WAV files, can be a musical score, can be just a single note from a piano or whatever it might be. You couldn't have the same play item more than once in your sequence. So if you said, I'll play the WAV that says hello, followed by the WAV file that says world, you could then not say hello world hello, because you couldn't go, I'll put the WAV on for hello first, then world, then WAV for hello again at the end. It would just end up with saying hello and nothing else. And so that was corrected as well. So you can now add as many times as you want any individual things into your sequence as you want without any ill effects. And I did a demo to show that. But to get the latest version, as I said, it seems fairly stable, so I'm tempted to call it a beta version. Alpha versions usually what the developer tests themselves. I have done some rudimentary testing. Everything seems to sort of hang up, that's the wrong, you wouldn't want anything to hang up. The code seems to be actually stable. So I'm counting it as a beta release really. So if you go to xtronical.com, you can see we are here now. And you could click that quick write-up about it if you wanted to. But if you want to go straight down to the downloads page, you go into Basics, Audio, DAC for Sound, Library Downloads, and you'll see it's down here in the versions. If you look carefully, you'll see that I did release 2 or 3 days ago the 3.1, initial 3.1 version. And at that point, I didn't realise I had the bug about not allowing it to play the same WAV file multiple times if you wanted to. So I then released this version. This is the one you want for now. Download and install that. If you've already installed the DAC Audio software, then you'll need to remove your old one, which if you look up in this description up here, there is a guide. If you're not sure about how to do that there, it really is quite straightforward. It just involves you basically going into where your library folders are and deleting the DAC Audio folder, and then just downloading and installing that zip as you would do. Again, it mentions the guides here if you've not, in this paragraph, if you're not familiar with doing that, if it's your first time for installing DAC Audio. So download that, and you'll see that the demo has been slightly renamed. As I say, I've now called the multiplayer class the sequence class. So let's have a quick look at the demo that I wrote to look at actually clearing out the items. So basically, I've created a program that can read out a number that you type in over the serial monitor. My WAV classes, my WAV files are all in here. Numbers from 0 to 9, all in there. And then I set objects here. If you look, I'm setting the WAV class to some objects, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to put in those various WAV files that we do there. So we've got our WAV objects all there created. Up here, if you've not seen the other videos, I create the DAC Audio object, which is the one you need to actually start things playing, etc. And then we have the sequence class. As I said, this was initially called multiplayer class, but it really was a misnomer. It wasn't a good name for it, so I renamed it sequence class, which makes more sense because it's a sequence of whatever sounds you're doing. We've got the serial because we're going to be using the serial port. We go down to the loop. all this loop is doing, well, we've mentioned that in previous videos, you need that in your loop at some point, just once, just put it at the top, and then whatever code you're writing for your software project goes in there. And in this case, I've just got the bit that will actually read from the serial port things that you send to it with the serial monitor, because you can send, most people are aware that you can send things to the serial monitor with a serial.print, but you can actually type things in and send it back to the Arduino, and that's a bit of code. This is a bit of code that will actually pick that up for you and read it for you. So what I do, I send to this routine called play number the string of what you've just typed in as a number. So it says read the string, convert it into a C string, so that's what I want it to be, and pass it to play number just down here, and you can see we've got a pointer to a string. This bit here, I'm just saying how long the string is. You don't necessarily need that line, it's a coding thing. Generally in a loop, because I'm going to use it in the loop here, you don't want to use string len number because it's calling a function up. And although it seems trivial that when you were brought up on coding so many years ago with basic systems as I did, you need to bring out every last bit of speed from them. And particularly in C, string length is not a very efficient routine in C because of how C stores its strings. Different languages like Pascal do it in a different way, and their string length function is many times faster depending on the length of your string. The longer the length of the string, the slower C will be in trying to return what that length is. Pascal, it doesn't matter how long your string is, it'll return it in multiple times faster than C. But that's just the way, because of how they store the string. So I get used to doing this from the old days, setting up there, how many chars there are, and putting that in there. So first of all, after doing that, I remove all the play items because there could be something from the previous play. Obviously, in the first ever play, there won't be any, but we remove them all anyway because we could be typing in multiple times. And then for each one of those, so we'll go step through each character in the string that you've passed it, using that index pointer I, and we add it, we call this add number to sequence. And if we look down here at what that does, just scroll a little bit, add number to sequence, there we pass that single char, and we go through a switch statement, and it will add the appropriate sounding wave file. So if I pass it the number, say I've got the string 1, 2, 3, then here, up here, it will actually go through the 1, 2, 3, so it'll pass the number 1 first, and it'll sort of go add the 1 wave file to the sequence first, and then it'll come back to here on the loop, and then the second character will be a 2, and then it'll come down here and add the 2 wave file to the sequence, etc. When it's done all that around that loop, so when we've gone through all that loop and got all the characters added to the sequence, we then play the sequence. And as it's playing, we output the number that you just entered, just for your sanity of thinking, yeah, did I enter that or not? And yeah. So I've already uploaded this to my system, so if I bring up the camera now, and we'll just bring up the serial monitor as well. There we go, move that over here a little bit. Okay, so if I type in something very simple, 1, 2, 3. Now, I want them to know the sound quality is brilliant because I've reduced them down to 8 kilobit samples, which is actually quite low, just to try and keep the sample size down as low as I can. It is legible, but 1, 2, 3, let's try that. 1, 2, 3. Other way. 3, 2, 1. Let's see, I did say you could have multiple times of the same wave file, because that was a bug that you couldn't have earlier. 1, 5, 5, 1, 1. Now some of the gaps where you see it's like, oh, it seems to be a bit delayed, that's just because I've not quite edited the wave files for those numbers quite correctly. I've left a bit of dead time padding on the end where there's actually no sound. They just need trimming down to make that a lot more smoother. So some numbers are smoother than others. I think 9, 7. So you can see there's definitely some trimming needs to be done, but as a quick demo, it works, and unfortunately, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6. See, that ran quite smoothly. Unfortunately, it's my voice than there, so if you do download this demo and play it, unfortunately, yeah, you're going to listen to my voice, and I apologise for that. Please feel free to replace the wave files with your own. So that's it for now. Just a little thing, if you've not subscribed to my videos and you like the content, then please subscribe. Also, hit that notification, which is a little bell icon, so it shows like it's got vibrations next to it, because I definitely think like other YouTubers, if you watch a lot of YouTube like I do, a lot of YouTubers are moaning about the fact that some of their videos aren't appearing in people's feed. I definitely think I've seen evidence of that. I cannot be sure, but looking at my stats over months and things and when I've released videos and what I expect, because now I've been running for about a year or so, I can see the patterns I should be expecting, and things changed a while back when other YouTubers complained that was happening, that if you don't have the notification bell on, you won't always get that video in your sort of subscription feed. Which is a bit ridiculous. Me myself, if I don't have the notification icon on for a YouTuber, because I've subscribed to them, I'm still interested in looking at their content. And yeah, I might skip it and not watch that video, but I still want to see what they put up there, just in case it's one I want to watch. So, please, if you're just subscribing, make sure you hit that notification alarm bell. If you're already subscribed, please make sure it's clicked on, and then you'll receive all my videos. So I do think some of them are being missed every now and again. But that's it for now. Hope that was of interest, especially those that have been having problems with the sequence class. And until next time, bye for now.